Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a press on nail with a rose quartz encapsulated tip. So as you can see, I've already created an extended nail bed with on the nail tip. Unfortunately, I do struggle with filing the tips on the little stands. I haven't found something yet that will adhere the tip to the stand well enough for me to be able to file it without it pinging all over the place. So that's why that has already been done, but I will do a video in future of me doing an extended nail bed, either on a tip or on a client or on myself, so that you can see the process I follow. What I used was BlingLine Builder Gel in pink. It is just a beautiful colour and it looks gorgeous either matte or gloss. Really love their gels. I won't use anything else at the moment. Absolutely in love with it. Then what I'm doing here is I'm just setting up my palette with the rose quartz effect. I needed to create a nice translucent sheer pink, slightly deep pink colour. So what I did is I went in with Desert Rose by Neo Nails. They are amazing, highly pigmented, so I needed to add quite a bit of the base and top coat. So I've added that in. I also add a little bit of Cotton Candy by Neo, which is a white, very, very pale pink, almost white colour. Later on, for the second coat of the design that I do also add into that mix Darcy, which is by Halo. So just to let you know, those are the colours we're going to use in the main base colour. I've also done a base coat on the tip of that finger to make sure that the polish really adheres to it nice and well and you don't end up with any peeling or splitting. The nail tip itself had been prepped, so what I did is I ensured that I buffed the surface of the nail tip and then applied a layer of the Super Bond by BlingLine as well, which is their bonding gel. So what I've also done on here, as you can see on the palette, there's a few more colours going on there. I went in with Gold Leaf, so I put a tiny dot of Gold Leaf, which is a colour by Halo again. That is there because what I'm aiming to do is create a cuff around the smile line of the extended nail bed. So what I'll be doing is showing you how I do that a bit later on in the video. So mixing all of those colours together so that there's not any bits that are more translucent than others when I go to pick the product up and put it on the tip. So give it a good old mix up. And then I thought it obviously wasn't quite translucent enough, so I added a little bit more. I do apologise for the colour of what I'm using as a palette at the moment. I will make sure that I get a white palette for the next video that I do, so you can really see the combination of the colours, especially when mixing as well. So what I've done here now is I've gone and I'm painting on a very, very thin layer of the mixed colours. It's got to be super thin. Make sure that it cures properly. If your products aren't cured properly and they touch your skin, or you file them off at a later date, they can cause allergic reactions. You don't want them, they're very uncomfortable, so just make sure you're always following the product guidelines and curing them for the length of time that they need to be cured for. So I've done a really thin layer of this one here, and then what I'm going to do, oh yes, I forgot I did that. I added a small amount of the Cotton Candy into the mix of colours, just to give it a slight more lightness, just to lighten that colour up a little bit more. With the first layer, you can't really see much of it on the tip. It doesn't look like there's a lot there, but trust me, as we move forward, the more layers we do to create the depth of the rose quartz, the more you'll be able to see the pigments and the dimensions as well. So this is where I added in a small amount of Darcy by Halo. I popped that in just to give it a slightly different tone. I just wasn't really happy with the tone that was there, so I just wanted to have a little bit of a play and try popping that in. Darcy is a more sheer colour, it's slightly translucent, so that is another reason why I added it and then didn't need to add any further top coat or base coat to it. So mixing that up all nicely, and then I'm going to go in and make sure that I put my next coat on after the first layer is cured. So again, nice thin layer to make sure that the products will cure correctly. Making sure that I cover all the free edges, cap all of the free edges, and then I go in with my fine line brush. With my liner brush, this is just a Star liner brush, which you can get from a lot of beauty wholesalers, really reasonable price as well, so fantastic for if you're just getting started and you either don't want to or you haven't got the funds to go straight away getting all of the really high-end products. Star is definitely going to be the one for you. They're really good quality for the price that you pay as well. So I've gone in with my striping brush, dipped into the cotton candy, which as I said is the almost white baby pink, and then what I'm doing, I'm just creating unsymmetrical, just sporadic white lines through that still wet polish, not polish, gel polish. Remember, you don't want to cure that second layer of the gel polish. You want that to stay wet so that when you drag your liner brush through with that cotton candy on there, it's going to spread out and it creates a much more subtle line, which is exactly what you see in a rose quartz. So then what I've done here is I've just sped things up a bit for you because we're going to do a few layers of this that are exactly the same process. So I don't want you bored out of your skull watching me do it over and over again. So you follow the same process for another 2 times. Again, in between each layer, making sure you're curing it for the full time. And then this is the final layer that I'm doing. I've gone in slightly thicker this time, but still not overly thick. Again, making sure that I am capping those free edges. We do not want to see any peeling. And then we're going to go in for the final time with our striping brush and cotton candy. Create those last little, that last layer of the, it's actually cracks in rose quartz, I believe. It's actual fine line cracks that create the way that it looks. So we've got that going through, making sure that we're not being uniform and symmetrical. We want it to be really random. And the top and base coat that's been mixed in with the base colour that we've created, that is what helps it to spread. You can use a blooming gel if you want to use a blooming gel, but I think where it is just on the tip, we want to see those lines. So I think that blooming gel, it would spread too much and you wouldn't see as much of what you want to see. So this is when I went into Gold Leaf by Halo. I decided that I really wanted to cuff the extended nail bed and that smile line of the extended nail bed. So with the striping brush again, I've gone in, I've dipped into a little bit of the Gold Leaf and just run my brush around really neatly to give that gorgeous gold line through there. And then that goes in the lamp again to cure for the required time. And then what we are going to be doing is now encapsulating the tip. So Obviously the layers of polish have built up the thickness of that tip, but it is still nowhere near in line with the extended nail bed. So we need to use the Cool One Step Gel by BlingLine. That's the one I've chosen to use. As I said, BlingLine products, oh my god. So I've gone in with those, and we roll off a small bead onto the tip, and then tickling and pulling the product. It's more tickling than pulling, I suppose, but just with that product, tickling it down, making sure that it's going on all the edges, all the free edges are capped with the, and making it as even as possible. You may end up needing to use maybe 2 coats, because the Cool One Step is a slightly self-leveling gel, and I think this was a really hot day that I did this filming, so unfortunately it is a little bit runny, so I thought better be safe than sorry and just use thinner coats and do more than one. So we popped this one in to the lamp once I've finished getting that right. There I am, trying to let gravity, well, making sure that gravity does its job where it is a slightly self-leveling gel. If you ever have a problem that product starts to run to the sides of your nails, you can just turn the nail upside down and it will rebalance itself into the center of the nail where you want it. I don't usually get this problem. You will more often than not get that sort of problem if you're putting too much product on in one go. If you take your time and you do thinner layers but more layers, you will usually end up with a much better result, and you won't have to sit there and file the life out of it to balance it. So I had a little look at this on the side profile, decided no, it definitely needs another little bit of the clear gel on the tip, so I popped another little bit on there for peace of mind before I went to file. Unfortunately, my filing process is not on here, like I said earlier, because unfortunately my tape and blue tack and whatever it was not holding the nail on this day. So I think it was due to the heat. So this is, after all the filing's been done, the products have been cured, this is what we've got. Let me know what you think, and please don't forget